Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got a fantastic show coming your way today. I'm just gonna tell you right now, everybody need to go and grab about 7 or 8 bags of popcorn. I know Dr. Michael, so popcorn not good for you, but uh, sit back because we got a sensational show. We got an absolutely wonderful guest. And Dr. Mike, you done did it again, man. You always identify the best of the best. So how are you doing today, sir?
Doing great, coming along well, and very eager to get into this with our special guest. And delighted that Michelle is with us today. And let's jump in.
Well, we can't do anything without Dr. Michelle Cooley, the executive producer. Starting us out, putting us on the right track, keeping us in line. How you doing today, Doc? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a chance to talk to our guest today. Um, he's so many things, but I know the topic we're talking about today is something I love to do that keeps me sane. So we're just really excited to hear what he has to say about it.
Yeah, she talking about traveling, all
Ah,
of this, but our guest today is going to tell us how to do it well and to get the best out of it. So, wherever you're watching us at, whether you're watching us on E360 TV, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Over 55 was the live streaming network, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the show, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any question that you might have, or just become part of the conversation. Michelle, can you please introduce the title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely wonderful guest?
Oh, most definitely. So, the title of today's show, again, 360-degree health, travel well-being. And Dr. James Cooley and our guest co-host, Dr. Michael Mantell, they're going to have a sit-down conversation with executive wellness coach and CEO of Infinity Wellness, Lance Breger. He's going to discuss how travel impacts your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being, how to stay healthy while traveling, how traveling can change your life, and also the greatest life lessons learned while traveling. So Lance Breger is an executive wellness coach again and the CEO of Infinity Wellness, a leading global employee wellness company that prepares organizations for the most productive and healthy work life. As a 25-year veteran of the health and wellness industry, Lance has led programs for thousands of professionals based on his 4 pillars of wellness: fitness, nutrition, mind, body, and ergonomics. He earned a bachelor's degree in kinesiology from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, master's degree in health promotion management from American University, and has achieved certifications as a personal trainer, holistic lifestyle coach, health coach, and exercise coach. He's been working remotely around the world for the past 2 years and has lived in 22 countries for 1 month each. I need to do that. Anyway, welcome our guest today, Mr. Lance Breger.
hey, Lance.
How you
Welcome.
doing? How you doing, Lance? How you doing, man? It's so wonderful having you on the show. And I'm looking forward to this lesson that we're going to learn. And I know our viewers are looking forward to this as well. So welcome to the show, my friend. Lance, I want to start off. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you? Let them get a chance to know you. What makes you click? And why are you so passionate about what you do?
Absolutely, JC. I've never been better. These are all my favorite things wrapped up into one. We get to talk with amazing people about wonderful topics. And I want to start by thanking the viewers, listeners, and the audience. You're in the perfect place. You're going to get the message that you need right now. There's been so many times I've been on a podcast and I heard exactly what I needed at the perfect time. That's one of my favorite philosophies. So I'm always put in the perfect place at the perfect time. So I want to thank the audience for being here, because without you, we can't do this. I was born to do what I do. It's my mission. It's to help spread health and happiness through corporations. And I've created a company, it's over 13 years old, called Infinity Wellness. And we are creating the happiest and healthiest workplaces on the planet. And my purpose has evolved into traveling around the world and supporting people that may not have the same access and opportunities that those that I serve through my company do. So this is my mission and my purpose wrapped into one.
So many people are listening to you and saying, my God, I could never do that. It's been said that fear is the enemy of travel and stops us from getting on the plane or train or car or whatever it may be, bicycle. But the fact is that travel is the enemy of fear. Once you start, it unlocks you. So I want to talk a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about how you made the decision to connect to travel and disconnect from the fear that may hold so many people back. How'd you do that?
Mm-hmm. It's an awesome question. I agree, Dr. Mantell. Fear is I'd say, the major obstacle to people truly living and loving and creating the life of their dreams. And courage is not being fearless. It is acting with the fear towards your goals and dreams. So you feel the feeling and you move forward. Now, how did I get there? I don't know if you know this. I had a spiritual awakening 7 years ago. And during that spiritual awakening, I was able to gain access to what's called clairaudience and clairsentience. Now, we know the 5 main physical senses in this human life, and there's extra ones that we all have abilities to. So basically, I've been able to get information. I like to call it the inner voice. You might know it as your intuition. You might know it as your heart. You might know it as your soul, your spirit. You might know it as your internal GPS. And I began listening and acting out what I was being, I would say, recommended and guided to do. And it ultimately, this inner voice told me it's time to sell everything in San Diego where I was living and go and take your life and company around the world.
Yeah. How do you see, we're going to discuss this in detail, but how do you see this travel, 22 countries, a month in each country? And I know it's not over, it's still going on. How do you see that impacting your overall well-being, your wellness?
So you mentioned fear. Now, I have been listening to my inner guidance and following it with small things at first, things that are less emotionally charged, things that may not have as much weight. And I was been building trust in this guidance, in my inner voice. And so when I was told to take the leap, I had trust, but I also did experience lots of challenges. And what I want to share is, yes, well-being, there's a light side to it, and there's also a dark or a shadow side to it. So travel has impacted me on both sides, and I want to be completely transparent about challenges as well as the triumphs that's happened. I would say overall, I'm living my dream life. I am literally living my dream.
I'm sorry, Lance, excuse me. I want to get something out of the way real quickly. This is not a rich man's arena. You don't have to be wealthy to do what you're doing. Is that true?
I have seen travel being done in every way. I've seen free camping where I've seen $9 hostels. You could do 5-star luxury hotels, or you can just go to a neighboring town or take a different route than you've been to. So the fear So my favorite question to ask people around the world is, what is your dream? And a lot of people will say travel. And then as soon as they say their dream, they shoot the dream down by saying, but.
Right.
And usually there's a fear connected, and it's usually around money. And so I immediately go into reminding people that you don't need to fly to travel. You don't need to stay in a hotel to travel. You want to do it in the way that works for you, in the closest, easiest, simplest way that doesn't create more stress on you.
The psychology of travel is interesting. It refers to the mental, the emotional, the behavioral aspects of an experience. I break it down to look at the physical health that travel brings to us. We can go into that. The mindfulness experiences that it gives us, the personal growth. It improves our strength, our people skills. And your point is well taken. We don't have to go to Paris. We don't have to go to France. We don't have to go to Costa Rica, my favorite destination. We can go to the neighborhood across the way if we bring our mind to it. And I'm going to toss it back to JC now, because I have a feeling
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I tell you what, audience, I see we got over 1,200 people on YouTube listening alone, and that number is going up, by the second. And if you want to be part of the conversation, regardless of which platform you're on, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, Lance or Dr. Mike or myself will get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are, and one that keeps us close when we're apart. Talking from the darkness of all that we've been through, it seems that there might be a way to leave behind the loneliness we've known and live again life of need.
welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And, I tell you, we just started. We were getting a chance to know Lance. And he brought it in the introduction section. So sit back, get ready to learn, get ready to be thrilled, get ready to be open-minded, and start thinking about traveling a little bit, because Lance getting ready to tell us how to do it well. So if you want to be part of the show, like I mentioned to you, what your platform you're watching us on, all you do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. Lance, then you talk about these pillars, 4 pillars, and I know Dr. Mike was going off into that one a second or so ago, but can you pick it up? Can you tell us what these key pillars are?
Absolutely. So when you think about well-being, my company, Infinity Wellness, defines a whole person employee wellness program with 4 elements. It is nutrition, fitness, mind and body, which is an umbrella term for sleep, stress management, breathing, meditation, mindfulness, relaxation, and more. And the 4th one is our ergonomics, the body positioning and your posture at your workstation. So those are the 4 major pillars that we train our clients and their employees on, so that they can be their healthiest, happiest, and most productive.
And to that point, when you think about those pillars, they hold up a human being in the best way. Now, no one leads a perfect life. No one has all those pillars perfectly established. When it comes to travel, some people find it to be very stressful. Oh my God, they got to make the plane and then the seating, and then I missed this and that. It's just a mess. But we know that travel can lead to physical health because of relaxation, which is a part of that mind-body pillar that you talk about. Talk a little bit about how, in your experience, 22 countries, a month or so each, you have been able to bring relaxation, what I like to call the brain reward system, and how you've been able to thrive with that.
It's such an awesome question. So I'd like to start with my very first country 2 years ago, which was Costa Rica. So let's talk about stress. How about this? Imagine giving away and selling all of your things that you own, packing up a carry-on suitcase, and just leaving your whole community, family in the United States, and setting off to travel around the world with no formally structured plan by yourself. So there was a lot of worries, a lot of anxiety. And so what I did was, not only was I, every day I would look at images of Costa Rica, because when the mind is focused on what could go wrong or the stressful elements, we feel that. So I focused on the outcome, the destination. And so I would pull up pictures of Costa Rica, and it would energize me to do what I needed to do and keep moving forward. Is that an example of using the reward system to train the brain to move forward, Dr. Mantell?
Absolutely. How did you choose Costa Rica as your first place?
Yeah, I was curious about that one myself.
Well, because Bali was closed at that time. This was like at the end. This is the end of the pandemic, and my inner guidance said, "Let's start in Costa Rica." I have been there before, so it gave a little bit more of a comfort zone for me as well. And I actually knew at least one person that was going to be like on my path along the way as well. That's how it started.
Now, you talk a little bit about, we have talked about mindfulness and how travel can, in a sense, be a natural promotion of mindfulness. Let's just get into that a bit.
Oh my gosh. I love mindfulness because it allows me to savor life. I'm using my senses to enjoy every moment possible. So when we're in travel, we go to a new place, your brain is on high alert because everything is new colors. You don't know where anything is, But when we're not traveling and we're staying in the same routine, the brain goes into autopilot and we end up not, losing the present moment and savoring that present moment. And we end up moving to our mind, which the mind either wants to go in the future, which can lead to anxiety, or the mind wants to go to the past, which leads to depression or resent. So you savor the moment because travel forces you and your brain to pay attention to what's going on in the present moment.
Now, can you imagine if we can convince our audience to do that where they are?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go to Costa Rica. Look, we love Costa Rica. It's beautiful. But do I have to go to Costa Rica to do that? Can I stay in Irvington, New Jersey, or wherever it is? West Orange, New Jersey, or whatever. Can I be here where I am and have that? You teach mindfulness to your clients through Infinity Wellness. Can you share a little bit about how you can guide some people to do this?
Sure. Oh, I would love to. Just did this in New Hope, Pennsylvania with another group. Here's an example. When you're in the shower, you're usually not in the shower, right? You're in the meeting coming up later in the day. You might be at breakfast thinking about what you're eating, but you're not in the shower. So what you want to do is go through your 5 senses and ask yourself, what can I see right now? Can you actually see the bubbles of soap? Can you see maybe there's a certain color in the shower? What can you smell? I always try to smell my soap because that will bring me into the present moment. Can you smell your shampoo? What can you feel? Can you actually feel the shower head? Can you feel the water in each drop running down your body? And then what can you hear? I love listening to the sound of the shower. Or maybe I'm playing music in the background. And there's probably not too much that you're tasting in the shower, but that's would be another thing that you can do is wherever you are, ask yourself those 5 senses, and that will immediately bring you into the present moment. And most likely you're going to enjoy that present moment more.
Now, we're not talking about toxic positivity. Gee, everything is wonderful. I can smell my lovely soap. Not everything is perfect. Not everything is wonderful and ideal. We have to be realistic. When we travel, sometimes we're stuck in a hotel room that is not ideal. Sometimes the soap doesn't smell very good or whatever it might be. The food isn't exactly the way I imagined. I had this image and it's not. How do you adjust to that, Lance? You've had this experience in 22 countries. It hasn't all been idyllic.
No, I was just in Cuba. I was supposed to be there for the month. And I quickly learned that after a weekend, it wasn't going to work for me for living and working in the way that is most productive and healthy and for me. So I left. And it was sad because I really didn't want to leave and I was trying to do my very best. So we always have an opportunity to choose what you're going to focus on. What you focus on, you're going to feel. So if you focus on what's not right, it's going to feel not right in that type of an emotion. And if you focus on what is right or what you can be grateful for, that makes it a lot better. So one of the pillars of Dr. Mantell's work is the link is what you think. So we want to be mindful of what your thoughts are orienting around and making sure that those thoughts are focused on in a way that allows you to feel your best even in not ideal situations, because at least you'll give yourself a little more relief. You'll have a higher quality of an experience.
I refer to that as personal growth. And personal growth means developing perspective, fostering mental strengths, and improving people skills. You have grown 2 years of travel. You've grown tremendously in your perspective, your mental skills, your people skills. Can you share a little bit about those experiences and perhaps some examples from country to country.
The learnings and the growth have been epic, and everything is teaching you. The whole experience is teaching you. The people you're around, the nature, the culture, the physical environments, the animals, everything can be your teacher if you choose to look at it as such. And so I am always looking to grow, because what I believe is that I can learn from every experience, if it's thought as positive or not positive. So I'm always looking to grow and learn. And it's just by opening your eyes and opening your ears to being able to receive the messages. So because we're talking about Costa Rica, the message that I want to share with the audience right now is, I was on a ride in Costa Rica to a new town, and I was talking to the driver. It was just me and him. And he said, when Americans and Europeans come into my car, I can feel their stress. The vibes are not high. And they're like, there's so much stress. And the driver tells me, Lance, I don't have stress. And I said, you don't have stress? He says, solo feliz, only happy. And his answer for why. And I started to get really emotional for myself, for the amount of stress and worries I've had in my life and people around the world. He said, I live a simple life. If you could take away one lesson, start by simplifying your life, and you will experience much less stress and much higher happiness, health, and vitality.
Wow. Yeah. The simple life, that's a very, very good tip. And that's something to think about. And it's amazing how you combine holistic medicine, thought process, relaxation all together, because I think that is the key to actually staying sane and being
You got it. You literally got it. I choose to do everything possible. There's a quote by Eric Thomas, a motivational speaker. It says, don't cry to quit, cry to keep going. Right. And when I experienced very intense health challenges, I cried to keep going because it was such a purpose, and I was willing to do anything and change my health habits again so that I could keep going. So you're right. Staying sane, exactly right.
You know what? We're going to take a station break. I don't want to, but we're going to take a station break. But I tell you, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any question that you might have. I want to thank Dr. Watkins for tuning in. Dr. Pastor Pierce, I see you out there. Thanks so much. But we're going to take a station break. We're going to come back with a lot more Lance and Dr. Mike. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life and Lance and Dr. Mike. Wow, this is such a wonderful discussion. And hey, Lance, I saw you dancing during the commercial. So no, it's all about being happy. It's all about having a smile on your face. It's all about having a clear mind and conscience. So that's what it's all about. And that's what we're talking about today is enjoying yourself, try to live stress free, uh, do the things that make you happy, travel. This man right here been to 22 countries. 22 countries. Lance, I want to pick it up with that. Can you tell us about some of the other places, culturally in the countries that, you had to adjust to because each country is different. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely, JC. So it's 22 countries in 2 years. It's been a lot more than 22 countries, but 2 years. And so it started with Costa Rica. Then I went to Guatemala, went to Panama, Colombia, Argentina, Chile, Antarctica, which isn't technically a country, but it's a continent. I then did Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. Those are 3 islands north of Venezuela. And then I went to the Dominican Republic, Morocco, Egypt, Tanzania, technically Zanzibar, South Africa, Portugal, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Malta, and I know I'm forgetting some, but so those were all the different countries. And yes, every month, changing languages, currencies, cultures, it takes a lot of energy for sure.
Wow. Which one of them did you find, you mentioned Africa and all that, the most fascinating, where you got the most learning experience from that and saying, hey, I got to go back there again one day?
The hardest question I get asked is, what was your favorite country? Because like people, they all have something very special. There's paradise all over. I truly believe that we were gifted earth, and earth is heaven. This truly is heaven right now. And we're here right now in my belief system. It's really hard for me to choose, but I would say either Morocco or Egypt. Both of those, I've cried of joy, of love, of gratitude. And I want to say, make sure that the whole world knows. So I was in Egypt, the Great Pyramids, the Sphinx, the Nile River, the Valley of the Kings, hot air ballooning over it, the Red Sea, and one of the greatest barrier reefs in the world are all second to the people. People will literally change you. Please, there's so much love in the world. The biggest fear is safety. But as soon as you go to these countries, you're going to realize that everyone wants to help you. They want to support you. You don't even need to speak the same language as them, but they're here for you. Do you know how many people have helped me? It brings me to tears. They're going to inspire you, and they're going to help you be a better person. And the biggest help of travel is you think new thoughts. And as Dr. Mantell always shares, if you think differently and you can think bigger, you will have a bigger life, healthier life, happier life.
Lance, you mentioned the word gratitude. And it's clear to our audience, I'm sure, who are watching, listening, and who will be watching and listening and a recorded version of this, that gratitude practice is a big part of the lens through which you're looking at life. Let's talk about how you see gratitude fueling your well-being.
100%. So I want to let the cat out of the bag. As I was traveling, I began to experience very, very intense symptoms of anxiety that actually evolved into panic attacks. And I'm alone around the world. Okay. So that means full body trembling, smothering breathing, paranoia, hypersensitivity. And so it at times often was a very dark, heavy place. And gratitude was a saving grace, was a medicine. And so my general practice is at the end of the night, before I'm going to sleep, I think about through every highlight of the day, anything positive from small to big, which gives me positive thoughts, positive feelings, and then I fall asleep much easier. But I learned is I'm using gratitude all day long. So if I'm feeling blue or I was feeling down, if there was a negative vibe going on, I would go to gratitude and think about what am I grateful for right now or what has happened today. Throughout the day, I do my gratitude pit stops to be able to lift myself back up. Rather than focusing on the one thing that is wrong, I can still see and count all the blessings. Count your blessings.
So that gratitude practice helped with that intense anxiety.
Yes, definitely.
And now the name of our series is 360-degree health. And this is important to point out that gratitude is medicine. It's been said many, many times. We can look at the thorns on the rose bush or the roses on the thorn bush. When you were aware of the tension, the anxiety, you said, I got to think differently. And people who are watching and listening, when it starts to build up, ask yourself, how can I look at this differently? Lance, the practice of like going to bed, what happened that was good today? What happened that was right today? You wake up the next morning, you say, what can go right today? Not what will, but what can go right today. And that gives people an opportunity to go looking for good. In your vast experience of travel, which is unbelievable, it's really unmatched and unrivaled. I'm curious, because we talk about health, can you share some of the observations that you saw about health practices? We know, for example, that Costa Rica, one area of Costa Rica, is one of the blue zones. And we know that Greece and various places around the country, around the world, are the blue zones where people live to more than 100. But what have you observed about health practices in your worldwide travel?
That's such a cool question because I'm always looking out for how we can enhance how I can enhance my personal health and wellness, because it's my company and my number one value, but also help others. I'd say the thing that I noticed that was most prevalent was how much more fresh, visible fruit and food is in other countries compared to ours, where food usually is in stores. You don't see it. It's not out and in displays, especially fruits, vegetables, colors. But you could be walking through a beach in, where was I? Colombia. And what are they selling? They're selling coconuts. They're selling oranges and different fruits. And so they're eating a lot more fresh foods. Actually, one of my friends in Zanzibar, which is an island off of Tanzania in Africa, because his family and most families do not have refrigerators, they are eating fresh, immediately foods. And could you imagine the life force energy that when you're eating fresh food compared to food that is processed, has been on the shelf forever, or is artificial?
You mentioned friend. What you said, I have a friend in such and such a place. It's interesting. You travel around the world. You've made friends. How can travel foster these social connections? One of the pillars of health, of course, is social connections. We have a couple of moments before we take a break, so let's open it up, but we'll get back into it. But talk a little bit about how travel contributes to a sense of community, friendship, and overall well-being.
Yeah, traveling alone, I would say people are the most important. Absolutely. To me, people. Now, when you're traveling alone, and really as you're living your life, view everyone as a potential friend. Everybody. Everybody is a potential friend. Doesn't matter. And you will be completely surprised about how much friendship is brought back to you. Those smiles, those familiar faces, seeing people in your routine when I'm in a new environment is so very important. Doesn't matter if I'm driving by, I was in Dominican Republic on a motorbike, waving at the drivers waiting to pick up other people, or what it might be. Also, reaching out to friends and family at home. That was part of my evening routine that would help to center me and ground me and help me feel supported.
Wow. Yeah. You know, you talk about the pillars, and you talk about one thing that stands out is meeting people and being able to utilize what I call my 4 C's: create friendships, collaborate, meaning communicating, come up with all the different thoughts, commit to, hey, happiness, commit to being the best you can be. And but most importantly, create, collaborate, commit with confidence, being confident in who you are, what you're doing, relaxation, traveling, and listen to folks like you that gonna put it out there, because you're doing it, my friend. You're doing it 22 countries in 2 years. You don't got to take a station break, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna pick it up with some more Landsberg. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching this on, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And Lance, man, you got me over here thinking about just traveling tomorrow. Traveling real soon. Michelle and I are all getting ready to go to the Dominican Republic. So I'm looking forward to that and just traveling. And some of the tips that you talk about today, we're certainly going to utilize those. And make our travel as best that we can and enjoy ourselves, learn the culture, just fit in, so what the question fit in, when do you know that you're comfortable when you visit how long do it take for you to feel like I fit in?
Really cool question. Yeah. I find that it usually takes the first week. I'm creating my routine. That's going to be really important for everybody when it comes to your wellness, if you're going on a short trip or just on your daily life, is knowing what your anchors are. What are your anchors of well-being? What are your pillars that help you be your best, and creating that routine? So immediately when I get to a new location, I'm looking at, where's the gym? First question, because my exercise is super important to me. I'm looking at, where is the closest nature so I can get out and be in nature, which is so important. Third is, where's the grocery stores or healthy food? That's what I'm looking at. And then the fourth is there a yoga studio or something where I can relax? Maybe there's a spa or something, because those are my elements. So it usually takes about 1 week to get into the routine. And then as the weeks go on, you start to really optimize that.
Oh, this is our last segment. We have so much more to talk about. And I'm sure that people are beginning to think, gee, you know what? Let's go on that trip. Let's apply what he's talking about. How do you think travel has impacted your life now that you're back in America? You're back home right now. You left Cuba. So you are in between travel. When you're home, what's life like for you now?
Oh my gosh. This is an amazing question, and I can go everywhere with it. But I think what I want to share with the audience is that when I'm living my life and I'm following my dreams, I am happier, I'm more energized, and that makes all of my relationships better. There's a great philosophy that I learned from one of my teachers, which is me for we. You're 50% of every relationship that you are in. And the happier, the more healthy, the more energized, inspired you are, all of your relationships get better. So traveling helps not only all my relationships, but my work is better because I am learning and growing and happy and in love with life.
Let's drill down a little bit more. Practically, tell us how your work is better.
My work is better because I'm bringing, so what's amazing about my work, and we all can find this if we kind of look at it, is my work and life all blend together. There's really no like separation, because I'm teaching about well-being and wellness. So everything I'm learning can be applied not only to me, but to my clients. So I believe that I'm really using all the anything that I'm learning, I can basically be applying. But I'm actually feel like I'm not answering your question.
That's okay. I'm struck by that because you always answer my questions. But we have a relationship for the audience to know that goes back many, many years. We've known each other very well for a long time. But Lance, what I'm wondering about is, so what is different in what you bring to your clients? So 2 years ago, you were talking to a client, and now 2 years after all this travel, you're talking to the same clients. The client go like, wow, this guy, whoa, what's happened?
Yeah. What am I bringing? I'm bringing so much wisdom. So that's knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. Because I'm bringing what are my truths. When you travel the world alone, you get to learn about life. And you develop these truths that are true for you because you've experienced it time and time and time again. I bring empathy. Oh my God, the mental health, my empathy for mental health and my compassion for mental health has never been higher because of what I experienced. My gratitude, my ability to share how you can not only I'm going to get to be the living lesson, not, hey, go follow your dreams, but hey, this is how I did it and how I'm doing it. And here are ways that I can guide you into doing the same.
When's the book coming out?
I'm not quite sure, but you'll be the first.
Okay.
Will you do my foreword like you did for JC?
Yeah, absolutely. You know I would do that. What an honor. I think that the mental stimulation, the overall happiness that comes from travel, and again, we want to emphasize, you don't have to go to 22 countries in 2 years. You can go next door. You can close your eyes, have guided imagery. Now with artificial intelligence, we can put something on and we can be anywhere on the planet. In fact, we can be somewhere outside of the planet. But that the idea is that we take ourselves on a journey, and we take ourselves on a journey for wellness, well-being, for connection to other people, to look beyond the outside to that which lies within, to see what people can become. And that's what you have been doing. And that's just been wonderful. So I just think it's magnificent. If there's a great lesson that you're giving to your clients now, what is that greatest lesson that you've taken from 22 countries?
That you're the hero of this story. It's a story of your life.
Mm.
And that's why I'm so grateful that JC and Michelle have created this, because it's your life. Don't wait to live. And you're the hero. And it's important. Your dreams are very important. They were given to you, I believe, by that feeling that just won't go away inside of you. And by following that and living that, it's taking you on a journey to become who you're meant to be. And remember, your dream always helps other people create their dreams. So remember, you're the hero of your story. And when you go and travel, you're going to inspire others around you to do the same. And I believe that travel can lead to world peace, love, and so climate improvement, everything. Don't let fear stop you from living.
Wow. Well said. It's live your dreams. And our motto is always to dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. Lance, I want to thank you so much, my friend. And I got to invite you back if you have an opportunity in your schedule. I know you're traveling all over the world, but we would love to have you back on again soon. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. Dr. Mike, man, you always keep hitting all these home runs, man. You're going to broke records, baseball records. You keep bringing all these heavy hitters on. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers, our listeners, for always tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And just like I just said, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you then.